Hello, everyone. We certainly hope that you all are well. I am Raymond Sharp. This is my lovely wife,
Tanisha Sharp,
and
and
we're
we're here
here
to
to jump
jump in.
in. Welcome back to this session of Jumping In. We're excited about today's topic, and today we want to discuss the importance of not giving up. Uh, Giving up on things happens for various reasons, and we're not ignorant to the fact that with this time of year, it is right now, it's currently December. It's at the end of the year, and I know many of us have made goals. We've have dreams, we have things that we want to accomplish this year, and some of those things have not been completed.
Mhm.
And one of the greatest challenges of even how we see ourselves is in those things that we accomplish. And for those who haven't accomplished what you want to accomplish, I want to encourage you all to keep going. And even though you didn't complete it this year, thankfully, God willing, you will have another year next year. And as much as we don't like to carry things over from one year to the next, sometimes it's necessary, because in the preparation of not giving up and also seeing things come to full fruition, sometimes in the things that we want, especially as goals, we need to see ourselves maturing so that we can attain and correctly manage what those goals are. Sometimes, when we look at time is a great disappointment because things in our mind are taking too much time.
Mhm.
However, time can be a great benefit and a blessing, because sometimes before we receive what's really for us, we need time to mature so that we can properly handle it.
I love that because, so let me just say this. What does maturity look like? Like, how do we know that we're
Mm,
mature? Because when we say
that's a good
you're not
question.
mature, that means you're not necessarily ready. Like, sometimes we're not as ready as we think we are. Sometimes we have not dealt with things or taken things off of our schedule to make room for something else.
Mm,
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if we actually reach our goals, it may change how we flow throughout the day and how we even really thought it all the way through. Have we really, or are we in a place where we're willing to let some things go, make
mhm,
different sacrifices
right.
to go to that next level? And a lot of that's through maturity. But how does that look? How do you think that, how would you
I
say that
think
looks?
maturity can show up in many different ways.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes, like you said, maturity is going to require you to manage your time differently.
Mm-hmm.
There's certain behaviors that are not conducive to what you want. So before you get this goal or this
Mm-hmm.
position or even sometimes certain statuses or promotions, you need to make sure that you have the capability to even network on that next level.
That's good.
It's kind
Yes.
of like, someone who wants to be in a leadership position, but they hate talking to people. They
Yeah.
just, and maturity is understanding not that I want it because of the benefits, I want it because there's purpose there.
Mm-hmm.
That within itself is a certain level of maturity. If you can see yourself and say, I can make a tremendous impact because I have the knowledge, skills, and abilities to flow on this level, not in how it looks or not what I get to post on social media or not
Yeah.
what gets to go into my bank account, but I can make a tangible impact at this level or in this position or even serving this particular group of people. And unfortunately at times, I would say even maturity is your personal ethics as well,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
because you can get something, and we see it every day. We Some people post about it every day, how so many people find themselves in situations where they attain great statuses and
Wow.
positions, and then unfortunately their moral character, their ethics, and their guiding principles
Wow.
cannot keep them
Keep them
because
there.
they're not mature in understanding the full breadth of the
That's
situation.
true. That's true. I think that's definitely a key. And but a lot of us aren't willing to shift and better ourselves and work on our integrity and
Mm,
who we are and grow as a person.
mm,
Because why, like, what sense does it make receiving this big goal, but you can't keep it?
yeah.
Like, you're not gonna be able to maximize it and, flow in it the way that you're supposed to flow into it because, there's like character flaws and
Hmm.
there's things about you that won't sustain it. And so it's a lot to think about when we are wanting to reach certain levels and reach certain goals and, really our motive behind it. Like you kind of talked about it before. Like, what is your motive? Like, are you trying to prove something to somebody?
Mm,
Like, why do you really want this? And I think that's where it really starts. Like, why do I really want this? And why am I putting so much pressure on myself to get it done
yeah.
by next year? But you can't give up ultimately. If you know that this is something that you're supposed to do, you know that, you're equipped, you're ready to make the sacrifices, you're ready to do all the things, grow and mature, then don't give up, don't allow the time to dictate. And I think that sometimes is, like you said earlier, is our biggest challenge.
I want to put this in a more practical sense. If we think about it, and one thing I think some people, in regard to relationships,
Okay.
we have friends and people even within our friend group who want to be married,
Yeah.
both
Hmm.
male and female, and sometimes it's very disappointing to hear about their challenges with that. And one of the
Yeah.
factors they always bring up is like, I'm not getting younger. I thought
Yeah.
by now, and even within that, uh, still to me, if you're not where you want to be, if you're not where you think you should be, or even say, oh, by this time I thought I would be here, let's shift that thinking, because don't look at the time, look at the purpose. Because a lot of people can get married, but there's no purpose within their marriage because they got married for the wrong reasons. Some
That's
people get
true.
married for optics. They get married because, oh, I'm getting older. The next person
That's
who asks
true.
me, that's it. Regardless to, can this person really help me get to the next level? I'm a person that believes that, one of the greatest considerations for me for marriage is, can this person um, help me help take me to the next level?
Yeah. Can we partner
Can we
in
can we come
this?
together
Yeah.
in unity,
Hmm.
with all the benefits of it, but still
Yeah.
our common goal is to help each other get to the next level in life. And that's,
Yeah.
to me, that's a part of it. And I feel like so many people don't care about that. They want comfort financially, they want
Hmm.
some stability, they want, they don't want to be lonely. And it has nothing to
Yeah.
do with purpose and more to do with what I want personally. And I think that's why a lot of people are disappointed. So even in your
Yeah.
waiting, make sure that you're working on yourselves, getting rid of all areas of immaturity, even on why you want it. And one of the biggest things I would say, that no matter what you are waiting for, excuse me, make sure that you're celebrating those who are accomplishing their goals.
Yes.
Don't get jealous.
Don't
Don't
get
get upset.
jealous. Yeah.
Be a supporter. Be someone who uplifts
Yeah.
other people who are being successful or are experiencing success in the level of life that you want to attain yourself. And there's tremendous benefits for that, because one, you're seeing that it's still possible, it still can be done. Instead of saying, why me? Why do I have to wait? Be grateful that you don't have to endure some of the challenges that people who didn't wait, who didn't properly go through a process, who forced
Hmm.
things to happen for themselves, that they're now struggling with. That's a very good place to be. Look at the lessons and learn from others' mistakes, so that when you do achieve the goals that you have in mind, you will be successful, because you have learned some of the soft lessons without have to experience it
Yes.
yourself.
Yes. Yes. If I can just like rewind back, because I didn't want to cut you off.
No, you find it.
One thing you said that was really good about relationships and what I've learned, and we've been married for it'll be almost 19 years now. What I've learned was I feel like like when we got married, there was more like growth, there was more like you're not done growing when you
Hmm.
get married. And so I think marriage kind of helps, and it's supposed to kind of help like pull the gifts out or kind of like help you cultivate. So it's like you're gonna all your flaws are gonna show, all the imperfections are gonna show, but allow your spouse. But you got to be mature. So when we say, are you ready? Are you ready for the
Correction.
correction?
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you ready for the critiquing? Are you ready for the why are you doing that? Or and not be defensive and not look at it as he's attacking me when he's trying to just like make you better.
Hmm.
If I, and she's doing the same thing. Now there's a way to approach the conversation. Like you
That's
got
right.
to say it correctly, but you have to be mature even in that. So before you say like I'm ready to get married, like are you ready? Because there's still so much more. There's still so much more growth and development as a person that you weren't able to see as a single person. If that makes sense. And so your spouse is going to see it. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Your spouse is going to see it and they're going to want to, like, hey, let's work on that. I want to make you better in that area. And you have to be mature enough to handle that and not get defensive or not make it an argument or just not, deflect on that person because you don't want to deal with it. You don't want to hear about it. Um, just receive it. Even if you're not ready to deal with it, just say, I'm going to consider what you're saying. You're right, and just admit that they're actually right. It's maturity. All of it's maturity, and sometimes we feel like we're ready for stuff, and I'm realizing that sometimes we're really just not ready. We're really just we don't know how to handle the pressure on that level
Mm,
and all that comes with it
yeah.
because there's more that comes with it that you may not necessarily like, But
Mm,
how do you know what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
you still got to be able to have self-control. You still got to be able to have the right attitude, have the right motives, and be able to, respond correctly when things aren't, you know, what you want to hear. But I think I know what marriage with me, it exposed so many things that I thought I had together, didn't always have it together. And so he helped me realize, like, okay, you might want to work on that. And it was out of love. And that's how you know. And that's a whole nother episode,
Yeah.
knowing his heart.
What yeah, one thing I do want to discuss,
Mhm.
and and we endeavor to make things as practical as
Yeah,
possible.
absolutely.
And for me, one of the things I kind of chuckle sometimes when people say, "Oh, I want a baby," and
Yeah.
some
Because we were
people
there.
want it, and to me, I always look at my children and say, okay, this is where they are, but this is where I need them to be. So I don't address them necessarily where they are. I address where they're going.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
because one thing I did not allow my wife to do was speak baby talk, the little gibberish like goo goo, oh, da, 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 da. No, because I understood that they're forming thought patterns, speech patterns. They're
Hmm.
trying to understand how to communicate, and we can't teach our children gibberish and then expect for them to speak clearly or even how to correctly comprehend.
Hmm.
So I talked to my children like, when they was couldn't speak. They just doing that look at you, with the googly eyes. I always spoke in clear sentences to them. I read to them, and I made sure that people didn't. People are like, "Well, they're babies. You're supposed to." No, you're not, because
Hmm.
this is why a lot of kids have developmental issues because we don't correct that. So that's an aside. But what I did want to say is that some people, once their children start to grow up, they have an issue with it because they always saw them as babies and not
Hmm.
becoming adults.
Yeah.
And I think that's the issue some of us have with our maturity, how we look at things. We see the initial stages of the goals, like, okay, I got this goal, good,
Hmm.
but we don't allow that goal to continue to grow into something else. We want to keep it self contained where we can handle it. And that's another part of maturity. We
Hmm.
have to give room for things to grow, not stay the same for
That's
years
true.
and years and years and years to come.
That's true. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Thank you, babe.
But at the end of the day, we don't want you to give up.
Yep.
We don't want you to give up. We want you to hang in there. I hope whatever we've said today has been helpful to you. Um, but yeah, don't give up. Just because it hasn't happened, if you know this is something that you need to do or you've been hoping to do, and this is just a dream that you've had for a long time, and you've been working, you might feel exhausted, you might feel weary. But sometimes right at the end, you gotta have enough to push through to actually get to the goal. So don't give up. Don't give up. It's very tempting, but don't give up, right,
Yeah.
babe?
Don't do it. Press. Look. Don't do
Press
that.
through it.
Press through it.
Press through it.
Yeah.
Press through it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's all I have.
That's all I have to.
Until next time, we want you to what? Jump
Jump
in and
in.
stay in.
That's right.
All right. Until next time, we'll see you later.
Y'all
Bye.
take care.